Hey everyone, Saul from Three Kingdoms Games here. So at the end of May, the next D&D book's coming out, and that's the Ghosts of Salt Marsh. Now I'm pumped for this book because of the horror themes and Lovecraftian vibes to this book. I am very excited for it. I'm a huge fan of Lovecraftian style horror, that whole feeling of the unknown, plus the ghost story kind of elements that are from here, as well as nautical elements. They're giving you rules for ship-to-ship combat. This looks like it's going to be an amazing book. Now, for those of you who don't know what Ghosts of Salt Marsh is, it's the next book in this anthology-style series that Wizards of the Coast has been doing with 5th edition. The first one was Tales from the Yawning Portal. So what they did was they took 7 adventure paths from past D&D editions, specifically 2nd edition and 3rd edition in this case, weaved them into kind of a cohesive story so you can play from levels 1 to 12 through them. But what they did is instead of setting them in Greyhawk, which was the original Dungeons & Dragons universe, they stripped away the Greyhawk universe, made them setting neutral, so you can plug them into whatever setting you happen to be playing in, whether it be a homebrew setting, Faerun, Eberron, what have you. So right there, I think that's worth it just for the inspiration this can give you as a DM for your campaigns. Or it gives you something to plug into a campaign, because you don't need to use all 7. You can use them in sections if you want. So right there, tons of value for people. Now, it comes in 2 covers. One, which is the standard cover that you're going to be able to see anytime you go find this book, which you can see this amazing art of this boat being attacked by some kind of sea monster in what looks like almost a storm at night. Really cool. I like this a lot. But the store exclusive, like limited edition cover, which is one-time printing. So if you want this, you should get this now. Pre-order it. Has this amazing kind of creature from the Black Lagoon vibe. It's probably going to have some metallic components to it. It looks amazing to me. So if you really want to stand out from a lot of other people you know, I'd recommend getting this limited edition one because it looks amazing. Now, the 7 stories in question that are in this book are the Sinister Secrets of Salt Marsh, which was the first of the Salt Marsh trilogy, which is acclaimed as one of the best modules of 2nd edition. So the first story in this trilogy was The Secrets of Salt Marsh, which came out in 1981, and was originally designed for levels 1 to 3. And you and your companions go to Salt Marsh and are commissioned with investigating what exactly happened with this abandoned mansion on the hills of Salt Marsh. So you go there and it turns into this very gothic horror kind of ghost story. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to ruin your play experience. So I'm trying to keep this as a very kind of brief synopsis, but I guess spoiler alerts is the best way to put it. Potentially, if you want to play through this, you might want to turn away now. So you get to go investigate this abandoned mansion. Turns into a very traditional kind of ghost story, which I really like. Then the next chapter in it, which came out in 1982, which was levels 1 to 4, was Dangers of Dunwater. Now, Dangers of Dunwater, which is very much a play on, the Dunwich horror and all that kind of stuff from Lovecraft. You have these amphibious beings besieging the town of Dunwater. So you are commissioned to go there to fight them back. And eventually you get to find out what exactly was behind everything. And that happens in The Final Enemy, which came out in 1983, is a levels 3 to 5 campaign. And you get to go and fight and see what the big bad was behind everything that just happened at Dunwater. Now, these levels are very important because back then, so 1st edition of D&D capped out at level 10. 2nd edition of D&D went to level 20. But the leveling scale has changed so much over the years. I'm curious to see how they're going to scale these exactly to make it fit for 5th edition. And then we get to the next 4, which were not linked stories by any means, but because of their inherent nautical theme, I could see how they could be turned into some kind of cohesive story. And that is the Isle of the Abbey, where you were commissioned by the Marines to go to the island. Contains an abbey, pretty straightforward, the name is right there. And you get to find out exactly what happened to the inhabitants of this island. Again, trying to keep this vague because I don't want to spoil too much. Then you have Tamarat's fate. So something happened in Tamarat. His ship went down. You get to go find out exactly what happened to him, why it happened. There's buried treasure involved. There's diving for stuff. Really cool story. Again, heavy on the nautical adventures, which is what most of this book is going to be about. Then you have the Stays. The Stays are a group of islands that got overwhelmed by cultists. Cultists of these old forgotten gods. Just saying. Very heavy Lovecraft vibe in that one. So you get to go there with your companions and fight the cultists and try to save the Stays. And then lastly, you have salvage operation. Pretty straightforward. Ships have been sinking. Time to go salvage stuff for who hired you. So that's the kind of overview of what's going to be in this book. Now, the last 4 all came out in dungeon magazines and had variable levels, just like the first 3. So I'm curious to see exactly what's going to be going on with that. So there you have it. That is the Ghosts of Salt Marsh. That's the book that is being released May 21st for Dungeons & Dragons. As always, you can follow us on all major social media. That's in the description box below. You can follow our blogs at threekingdomsgames.com. You can always drop in the store, see what's going on. There's one in Markham, one in Toronto. I'll see you next time.